Right on the money. We're alive.
Hello!
We did it. We're live. We're live. Every day. We're live.
3 p.m.
We're live. It's March 31st, Ange. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
You hanging in there? I'm hanging in there too. Very excited.
Hi, friends. Hey, David Howe. Carolina. Cheryl. Hey, guys.
Hey,
What are
everybody.
your names?
Thanks for tuning in. It's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know what that means, Ange? It's time for Drawn to Fantasy.
No, I like
No?
to say it's time for No, you have to go 1, 2. Like it's time for
Drawn to Fantasy.
Like
And
I just feel that has more presence.
we're in a fantastical world.
With your
hosts, Tomie DiTerlizzi draws for your entertainment, and his lovely, brilliant, and oft funny wife, Angela DiTerlizzi, adds funny meaning humorous, not funny looking.
Not funny, strange.
No, not funny strange, just
Funny, haha.
like I'm here to amuse you and remembering.
And we're back. Hello, friends. Hello, Kim. Hello, Brennan. Andy Robinson. Word up. How's everybody doing today?
It's a special, we're doing a special episode today, Ange. Wow, Stray Cat Strut, huh? You're really feeling...
it was just going right into that.
Yeah, we're in the Stray Cat Strut. I like that, huh?
Hold on.
That's
I gotta get a...
So, Ange, if you're just joining us, the last couple of days, we drew a witch. We drew a wicked witch. This came via requests from last Friday when we were doing Drawn by Request. And we got a wicked witch. We did a sketch. We liked the sketch. Yesterday, we inked her. We finished her. I scanned her. I'll post her later today. I did post her.
Richard Dunbrack's watching.
Oh, Richard Dunbrack. So good to see you here. We did an entire studio tour where I went on and on about my most beloved and amazing studio cabinet. So everyone knows all about
Richard
you.
Dunbrack, the artiste extraordinaire who
Yes.
creates whimsical pieces for your home and decor.
And whimsy. So we talked about wicked witches, and today we're going to talk about good witches. And the reason we're going to talk about good witches is because literally right after we signed off with you guys yesterday, we heard of the passing of Tomie dePaola. Now, if you don't know Tomie dePaola, Tomie, I don't have our copy of Stregonona. It's down in Florida. I turned the house upside down last night looking for it. This was one of Sophia's favorite books. We loved Stregonona. We loved Tommie's books. He passed away yesterday. It was not associated with the coronavirus at all. He was up there in years.
Yes, he was 85.
85 years old.
He had a fall.
Very active on Facebook, actually. He would do these daily drawings, actually, which was terrific. Loved. We never got to meet him. We've met a lot of amazing, legendary people in our field. Unfortunately, Tomie is one we loved from afar. But it got me thinking about, we literally had just drawn a witch.
Yes.
Strega is the Italian word for
witch.
For witch. So here's a little drawing, which I love this when the book, you're not quite sure how tall she is. And then when she meets, Big Anthony is big, but I just love that she's like this little old lady next to Big Anthony.
Which, I mean, when you go to Italy, there are a lot of little Italian grandmas. In fact, I follow an Instagram feed called Pasta Grannies.
Pasta Grannies!
Pasta Grannies. If you haven't seen it on Instagram, it pretty much is a bunch of women who look like Stregonona making homemade pasta. It is a beautiful thing.
I think if you're Italian, though, Ange, just... as a woman, eventually my grandma was Irish. My grandpa was Italian.
Yes.
Your grandmother was first, right off the boat Italian. She came here after World War II. She shrank in her later years, which
Yes.
now your mom has inherited, and she is slowly shrinking.
Yes.
And I suspect this is something I will watch you do firsthand as we get older in years.
Listen, gravity
is
bringing us all down.
it's bringing a lot of us down right now. So I thought today we did a wicked witch. Now let's do a kind witch. And so I thought today, in honor of the unbelievably amazing Tomie dePaola, who's brought so much joy to so many children, we would do our version of Strega Nona. I'm doing a literal sketch of her right now, just based on how Tomie would do this kind of, almost like a Punch and Judy kind of profile, you know, the big chin and the big nose, such a beautiful, clean shape. And she's got this terrific, like, there's a lot of stuff in this that I love. He may execute the final design differently, Ange, but there's a lot here that is very similar to how I think about shapes and form, which I absolutely love.
Well, I think we talk about round shapes being so kind of comforting.
Yes, we have talked about that. That's correct.
No, Strega Nona everything is round, right? Her pasta pot is round. She is round.
Yeah.
There's no kind of sharp angles. Even if you look at the bottom of her dress, it's got these kind of waves along the bottom. Everything in his shapes are just so beautifully inviting.
So I'm just doing a kind of guys can see the Tomie's piece is like right here. I'm just doing kind of a literal here. I'll scoot it so it's a little more side by side. We'll do kind of a wide shot here, Ange, just for a little bit, and then I'll zoom in when we actually get something exciting. I'm just kind of getting used to the way he drew her and the kind of the shape. I love that you could tell she has a bun right there. There's like a bun, and he just kind of puts the kerchief over the bun. It's kind of nice. And he's just little simple eyes. She's just got those little, like that. You can see it here. I'll zoom in. I'll get there when I get there. Hold on. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Anyway, I thought we did a wicked witch, so I thought it would be cool to do a wise woman or a good witch today in honor of Tomie. So it's kind of a little, I love that little. Now, I wasn't sure now because he has simplified her costume he's reduced it down to very simple shapes and forms. I wanted to see a little bit more of what that may look like. So I did what I always do, Ange. I look at old paintings. This is Edward Degas' painting, literally titled Old Italian Woman. So gives us kind of a little bit of an somewhat impressionistic, but I love the veil. This one was from the 19th century. I wasn't sure who this was, but someone is having chicken tonight, and she's got a little basket. But I like the kerchief. It just gives me a little more to go from for my version of Strega that we're going to draw. So I'm just kind of getting. Actually, I haven't drawn today, Ange, as you can.
So sometimes you'll warm up.
This is definitely warm up. I'm going to just erase a little and come back in a little bit, and I'll move all these sketchy things around so we can get in. There we go. So you guys can see a little bit why I'm just thinking of these. I mean, he drew her eyes like little dots, which makes me think they're just these little, these little slits, and it's just really this chin. Ooh, magic music.
A little check.
How are you doing? You were making. What were you making?
I was
in the kitchen. You were up in the kitchen.
I was in the kitchen. Also,
I was on the phone. I'll talk about that in a minute. You tell us what you were doing in the kitchen.
I was making homemade granola. So we have a friend, a very good friend of ours, is having her birthday today. Of course, I feel terrible that we're not able to be there to physically celebrate with her, even though she doesn't live too far away. But I wanted to do something for her, so I'm making some homemade granola, and Soph made some homemade soaps. And we're going to drop off a little care package, and I'm going to text when it's at the door.
Nice. Someone did that for us yesterday.
Yes.
I thought that was very sweet.
Yes, it was great.
Someone did like a little mystery drop off.
Yeah.
She got her.
That for a friend. So I was up in the kitchen.
You were
cooking away.
That's all. How'd it feel? Was it good? I know that's very
That's my therapy. It's
As
been
a young Strega yourself, I feel like
sure.
that.
It was a busy morning, so I started off today. I actually did a Zoom meeting. What is it called? I don't know. This one I feel old. I did a Zoom meeting.
I did a Zoom.
I did a Zoom meeting with the library today, and an amazing drag queen by the name of Bella Noce.
Wow, it's like an Italian themed day.
Yes. She did a reading of my book, Just Add Glitter, for a library. So I surprised everybody and hopped on and talked about where the idea for the book came from, and surprised Bella, and she freaked out. It was pretty awesome.
That's so cool.
So cool.
And you had kids watching and everything?
Yeah, we had kids watching. They had a bunch of readers there who were signing in for this regular story time that they were doing. And that is, oh gosh, what was the name? That was with the East Meadow Public Library, which is in East Meadow, New York. So I was able to pop in. They had asked me permission to read the book, which of course I was like, please do. And so I surprised them by tuning in.
Very
and
cool.
Saying hi. So
that's
that was
cool.
Awesome.
That's very cool.
And then I just got off a FaceTime call with our friend Cece Bell.
Oh, fantastic.
Love Cece Bell, and if you don't know her graphic novel, El Defo, it's an autobiographical graphic novel about her experience losing her hearing as a kid around 4.5 years old and getting her hearing aids. Yeah, yes. Terrific book. Not only did Sophia love this book when she was in, I want to say 4th and 5th grade is when she was tearing it up. Also, like, I felt like everyone in the class was reading this at the same time, and very rare, she doesn't do this often, read it repeatedly. Like, she would finish it, and then like a month later, she would read it again, and she's got to have read that book at least 10 times. Oh, yeah. And I would say the only other graphic novel that she's done that with are probably Rain and Telgemeier's, probably, yes, right? For sure. And maybe like Roller Girl.
Oh yeah, she does like Roller Girl.
And Vera Brazagole's.
Not One Summer.
About camp.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I'm brain farting on it.
Yeah. Another great book. Another great story.
Oh, what was the book called? It's called El Defo.
El Defo.
El, like El Defo. Deafo.
Great book. Great story.
Yes, great story. You guys should definitely check
really
it out.
Good. And if you're of a age, so Cece is just a year younger than me. I want to say she's almost 50. Yep. So lots of 70s reference, which of course I love.
Yes, so cool. So it's like also this kind of time capsule for kids. They're like, what, Batman was on TV and it was what?
Yeah, and it was
about, I think, loving like Dolly Parton as a kid and things like that in the book.
That's cool.
Music, or Olivia Newton-John, actually, I think so.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so.
I don't know. I got a little here, a little warm up of Strega. I'm gonna do one more of her, Ange. I want to play around with a little more.
Awesome. In case you're just tuning in,
today's an homage to the late Tomie dePaola, who was a children's picture book legend, and he was a legend. He's been doing it for years. I rank him with Sendak and Eric Carle. Like, he's part of that generation of children's book and picture book creators. Yes. He did many books. I wish I could give you a number of titles, but Strega Nona, which won a Caldecott honor, is in Florida in our seasonal residence. It's not here at the house, but I do love this book. We all love this book, in particular Sophia. So we're doing a good witch today after doing a wicked witch for the last couple days in honor of Tomie. I'm going to try, it's funny, I arranged the phone and everything to be vertical today, Ange, but Strega is anything
no, you're right
but vertical. That. She's very horizontal. So I'm just gonna push now. This kind of, I love that I'm kind of really pushing these circles. So I'm giving her a big belly and a butt. I'm giving her a big bust and perching this head on it. Just, I feel like these are all kind of these lovable grandma shapes.
These are all the grandma shapes?
For this character, I'm kind of riffing off what he already created.
Yes.
And then I'm going to accent it a little more. He gives her kind of crumpled sleeves, but I'm thinking of this very Edwardian, Victorian, like the big puff on the sleeve here. It would be very early, 1900, just early 20th century. The big.
Sweden.
Hi, Sweden. Thanks for tuning in.
Hello, Chad in Manhattan. Hope you're doing well in New York City and staying healthy.
We love New York City. We lived in New York City for years. It is one of the best cities in the world. I want to give her these little, here's the thing. So here's her butt. I want to give her these, she's got these little shoes. Now, he's very specific about the shoes that he draws on her, Ange. Like, check this out, if you guys can see. These very specific shoes. And what's funny is, in this painting here of like she's got these old-timey. So I almost want to give her these very specific little heeled, hard.
What they would have been probably little boots.
Like a little boot shoe, probably almost like this kind of Victorian-y kind of.
Rachel, thank you for sharing this stream that you're watching today.
Thank you, Rachel. Now, June Gallagher was our lucky recipient yesterday of the recycled bits, which we sent off today. June, they went off. I don't know if June's listening or not, but those went out.
Yeah, so those are on the way. So
they're on their way.
Each day, we pick a lucky winner to get some stuff. Our friend
garbage, really is what it is. We're giving you garbage.
I have to say, though, it looked really nice framed up. Our pal Lexi, her mom Angel, sent me a photograph. Lexi took a framed image of a Disney princess that she had, took it out, replaced it with one of your drawings that you had personalized.
What?
And put the stickers on the glass. It looked awesome.
Oh, my gosh.
So one man's trash is truly another
child's
treasure.
I love that.
Tom Hoffelder said he's going to attempt to write a whole hour of original music for our show.
Whoa, Tom, bringing it. Tom's bringing it for us, Ange.
We'll be the judge of whether it's garbage or not, Katie said. Hi, Seal Ballinger.
eBay will be the judge of whether it's... You're like, I made 15 whole quarters selling this.
Hi, Seal. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, Seal's here. That's awesome. Good to hear from you, Seal. I hope you're doing well. I enjoy seeing your pictures in my feeds.
Another friend in New York, we hope, is hanging in there and staying healthy. Dane Nielsen says, ooh, what is being drawn?
What is being drawn?
Just tuned in.
All right, if you're just tuning in, we have been drawing a Wicked Witch. We worked on that for 2 days. She's right here, in case you missed her. We did this. This was based on the You Tell Me What to Draw and I Draw, which we did Friday, which we'll do again this Friday. And no sooner had we finished our live cast yesterday than we had heard the news that the unbelievably legendary, talented Tomie dePaola passed away. Tomie was a picture book legend, most famously for this book, Strega Nona, which is about a good witch. And so in honor of Tomie, we are drawing a good witch today to go with our Wicked Witch that we drew yesterday. So I'm kind of just working on her here. Now, Ange, it's funny. I wanted to share with everybody. I'm going to draw for a little bit, and then I'll lead into this. We talked yesterday about the alewife, and I was interested in where the Wicked Witch type cap, that pointed black hat that we always associate with witches, how that came to become so identifiable with that sort of character. And one of the, they don't know for sure, they being Wikipedia, but the speculation was many, and one of them was alewives. And we had a picture of an alewife, which was basically a medieval brewess who made mead and ales and sold them around town. And they had a hat that was very similar, and so...
Is that one of the things you put in the package?
That's why I can't show it to you. June Gallagher is now the owner of that. But one of the other... I kept talking about its popularization possibly in the 20th and the 21st century by L. Frank Baum's Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Both the book and, in particular, the film... really in the 1936, 35, I can never remember the exact year, film also popularized the look of a Wicked Witch. But I went up, I have a reproduction of The Wizard of Oz that I wanted to show you. Wait for it. It's worth the wait. I know, it's like dead screen time here. So this is a facsimile of the Wonderful Wizard of Oz, which came out 120 years ago, came out in 1900. And two things. Here's W.W. Dinslow was the illustrator, so that's Glenda, but I don't think she's Glenda in the book. I think she's just one of the Munchkins that's good. But here's the kicker. That is the Wicked Witch of the West, as she was originally illustrated, and I feel like I let you all down because that
hat would have required another piece of paper.
That hat is amazing, and her skirt is even more amazing with the frogs and the snakes and her face. There's so much to love. I feel like we may have to revisit this Wicked Witch of the West. She's amazing looking. She looks like she has Halloween decorations as part of her outfit.
Yeah, that's cool.
She's really, really cool looking.
So cool.
I might also add, this version had a little dust jacket. If you're a fan of my books, this is the image for Wandla. This is specifically the image of the book I was thinking of.
Molly Partridge said, she's so extra.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what that means, but
Yes, you do. You know it.
I now know.
Now you know.
I now know.
She is extra. She's extremely
She's very extra. She's so extra, Molly
like
Partridge.
Extra. Read all about it.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's what it is. That? No, you told me that's not it. I had it wrong.
No.
I had no idea what it meant. I still barely know what it means.
No, you know it. You could use it if you had to.
I think if you were born before 1970, you don't know what things like that mean.
Well, you learn. That's what
Along the
that's all
way.
about.
Learning.
That's what.
We're here in quarantine learning.
The quarantine has taught you what extra is.
Yes. And how to use
And
Facebook Live.
How to use Facebook Live. And then also that drawing is straight fire.
Oh, I like the
Check
sound of
out.
that.
Yes.
Joelle just pointed out that I read Wandla. Joelle, we have actually, Ange and I have been reading quite a bit of our books. We have not been posting them. We've been sending them to various sources who are sharing them. So today, Simon & Schuster started posting videos, so I will share that later. I read the first chapter and discussed a little bit of Kenny and the Dragon, which they put on YouTube today. I put Jimmy Zangwow on my YouTube channel today. I'll share all this stuff later. And the Gotham Group, which is an entertainment and production company who produced the Spiderwick Chronicles film and Stargirl for Disney, is also sharing stories, and they put up me reading Ted today. So we'll provide all those links shortly, because, boy, that's a lot of reading. We're going to have a ton of reading. And you know what? If that wasn't enough, then Angela finds this thing that she's been following, this initiative called Save with Stories that was started by Jennifer Garner, Ange?
Yes, Jennifer Garner and her friend.
And it's Amy Adams, I think, isn't it?
Was it?
I think it's Amy Adams.
But there's somebody else, too.
Is there a third?
Yes.
Non-celebrity but
Yes.
philanthropic person?
Yes.
Who's getting celebrities to read books to create awareness for... What's it creating awareness for, Ange?
It was done with Save the Children.
Okay.
So they call it Save with Stories.
Okay.
And I guess it's for basically to bring awareness to the 30 million children who rely on school for food.
Okay.
So they're raising money for food banks and mobile meal trucks and community feeding programs.
And does this tie with the COVID virus, or was it just
Yes,
bad
because
coincidence?
I think all of so many kids that are not getting their meals because there are kids that have breakfast and lunch at school.
Right.
So now they're not getting to have those meals or
okay. And so this is.
And then also all of the educational toys and books. They basically, I guess, No Kid Hungry supports the programs that get these things into communities.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. So no sooner had Ange explained all of that to me, and as you can tell, I could retain only so much of it. What was it? The other day, you tapped me on the shoulder and said,
Yeah, I woke
check
you up
this.
and I was like, T, take a look. So Caitlin Deaver, who was in Booksmart.
Booksmart,
yeah.
which is a movie.
Yes, it is a movie.
Is it extra? Is she extra? I don't know.
No bad jokes, only dad jokes.
Oh yeah, nothing but coming from me.
So anyway, so she did a reading of Jimmy Zangwell's Out of This World Moon Pie Adventure.
Yes,
Your
and
first picture book.
yes, my very first picture book, and I posted that on the Jimmy Zangwell Facebook page last night. So I will post that link as well. I'm always
And then we'll be also posting some of the read alouds, story times to Gotham books as well.
Yes, so much read alouds. I'm telling you, you guys are going to be sick of hearing me read.
Simon and Schuster is going to be posting some of them.
Yes,
all over. You'll see them. We'll
they'll be
provide links
you'll
when
be sick of listening to my
Hi, Joan Kindig.
my voice. Hi, Joan. I bet Joan Kindig knows who we're drawing and what we're drawing.
She absolutely does. She said, "Look at Stregonona. Tomie, my heart is skipping a beat."
Yes,
It's so heartwarming to see colleagues honoring Tomie.
Of course. As I said earlier, I rank him with Sendak and Eric Carle as legends in our field who contributed so much. Many of my colleagues had really close relationships with Tomie. He was very accessible and approachable, which you don't always find, right, Ange? Like some people can be kind of retiring in our field. They are not as, you don't necessarily get to hang out with them and have access to them.
Tomie he was very involved with the SCBWI. For those of you who don't know, that is the Society of Children's Books Writers and Illustrators, and he attended so many of their conferences over the years. He worked very closely with Lynn Oliver over there, a dear friend of his, and so he was always at conferences. So one of the things that I'm seeing that just warms my heart so much is all of these young authors and illustrators who would attend these conferences were able to have contact with someone like Tomie, who, like you said, was, is legendary in our field.
Very approachable. And, there are some that are very, very approachable. And as I said, some less so, but it is amazing. And I try to be, as many can tell you, I try to be as approachable as I can. I try to pay it forward because so many people were so kind to me early in my career getting started.
Well, actually, it was funny. So when Tony and I both grew up in Florida, South Florida, for those of you who don't know. We met down there. I was 20, Tony was 24, and Tony had big dreams of moving to New York City.
New York City!
New York City. You wanted to illustrate children's books. You wanted to work for Jim Henson at the time. And
so many dreams.
Puppets, so many
dreams, Ange.
And so we end up moving to New York City, and we moved to Brooklyn. Somebody was literally like, check out this Park Slope area of Brooklyn. It's super cool. So
Pete DeSev, actually, if you're an illustrator, will know who that is.
That's right. He
was
there.
The one who suggested
There was a lot of people that lived in our neighborhood in Brooklyn. But so we moved there, and the person that we knew lived there was John Sheska, who's a children's book author.
Also
Stinky
legend,
Cheese
yes.
Man. He's been doing it for
a very long
and
time.
Years. Number one best-selling, sold millions of copies, and we moved to Brooklyn. We really don't know anyone, and I said to Tony, why don't you look and see if he's in the phone book?
Because people used those back then.
There was no internet. And so Tony looks him up in the phone book.
Cold call him
And tell him, I'm an aspiring children's book author. Can I meet you for coffee?
Can I buy you coffee?
Yeah, let me buy you a cup of coffee with, the money we barely have at that point.
Don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said yes.
Yeah.
And so you spent
a couple hours, maybe
a
bad hour
with him, having coffee in Brooklyn, and he was talking to you about working in the field of children's books. And the fact that he took that opportunity, or he gave you that opportunity and took the time to meet with you. I mean, we are so lucky to have had people like that throughout our journey.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's unbelievable. When you think back.
How could we not take the time when people were so kind in doing that for us?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's unbelievable that he did all that. And I'm very thankful to him for doing that. And we have a lot of those little stories. It's interesting because the SCBWI wasn't really in full swing yet. I think now that's probably replaced some of that. It gives you access to, children's book people who are working in the field. You can go and meet with them and pick their brain and stuff. And
Absolutely.
but back then, there just wasn't that. It was very, very tricky to get advice. And geez, God bless John, man. That was awesome that he did that.
Yeah, it's not like now where you could just be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to reach out to somebody on Instagram. I'm going to direct message somebody.
I mean,
tag somebody. You didn't have that.
Yeah, I get that a lot, actually. You bring up a good point, and I get that a lot. I get a lot of, I like your work. Will you like my work? Will you go like my page? Will you follow me because I'm following you? And that's always tricky because, I follow who I want. It's not really tit for tat for me. I follow the things that I want to follow, the things I want to see in my feed. And that's not to say that an aspiring illustrator isn't something I don't want to see, having been one. But I think it just doesn't work quite. The world doesn't quite work that way. So it's,
well, listen, I follow all the Real Housewives, but they're not following me.
Right. Nor do you expect
Nor
them.
do I expect them to.
Right. I mean, I don't think I'm Real Housewife level fame, but
No, but I'm just saying that,
that expectation's a little unrealistic. Yes. And I get a lot of, will you look at my work and tell me what do I need to do? And I try to do as much as I can. I've put a lot of notes and thoughts about that on my website, DiTerlizzi.com. It's pretty easy. You just go to About. There's an FAQ section. There's a whole bunch of here's tips and things that I would do to, if I knew what I know now kind of thing. But it is, I get it. Everyone's trying to connect. It's just, as one person, it can be...
That's it.
It can be hard to try to give everybody the thing they want.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, the thing that's going to excite people most is you doing your work.
Making new things.
Right, and so we have to be able to devote time to do that.
Yes.
But you're really good about, you write back all of your fans, and, you'll repost people's art if they tag you.
Yes. Well, we have Carol. Well, we normally have Carol here. Now, Carol's been... Obviously, because we're practicing social distancing and quarantining, because Massachusetts is pretty high on the states of corona cases. So Carol's been staying at home, but normally Carol would be the one who does it. And if Carol doesn't know the answer to someone's email, she shouts across the room and says, what do you know about this? Or someone's asking about that. So it gets done.
Dave Peterson wrote, Angela's a Real Housewife fan. Julie and I are foolishly obsessed.
We are very...
Absolutely.
And we are also... What else have you been into?
Okay, let me take one moment. Because when you feel that connection where you're like, oh my gosh, you're into that thing, I'm into that thing.
Yeah, of course.
Well, after Maurice Sendak passed, a year following on his birthday, they had a posthumous birthday party at his home.
Yes.
And we were invited to that. And it was a really just...
bittersweet.
A bittersweet day, but the energy was incredible, and the people that were there to support him, and it was a really special day.
I felt very honored that we were even asked.
Yes. And we spoke to Lynn Caponera, who basically oversees everything
his
for
estate,
him and his estate. And so we were talking, and we were in the living room, and most of the people had gone at that point. And, we talked about, I said, well, what were evenings like with you guys when you were just hanging out? And what did she said, we just kind of would relax and watch TV. And of course I have to ask questions. So I'm like, what were some of his favorite
What's
shows?
Maurice watching?
What was Maurice Sendak watching? And she said, well, he loved the Real Housewives. And I was like, yes.
So amazing.
Yes.
So amazing.
Loved that so much. A huge hero to us.
So amazing.
The fact that he was just that you could kind of just say, yeah, and he loved the Real Housewives.
He loved the Real Housewives.
I love that.
That says a lot.
Oh, let's see.
I'm getting I got to tell you, I hope...
Shade said she also needs a hint of a mustache. Are you saying all old Italian ladies have mustaches?
No, Ange. Also, young Italian ladies have mustaches as well.
Listen, this one doesn't because I wax.
I would think if you were a wise woman or a witch, a good witch, you... witch actually doesn't have a bad connotation. Well, people think of it as bad, but you can be a good witch. Wouldn't there be some kind of spell or thing you would use on... regularly to keep the facial hair.
Lip wax.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, exactly. Yes, that.
Let's see. You guys are saying such kind things. Thank you so much. Let's see. Tony and Angela, have you ever seen The Bicycles of Belleville?
The triplets about
Is that
it.
the Triplets of Belleville?
The,
That was an awesome movie. We loved that animated movie. That
yeah,
was
it's
so
been a
great.
long time since we've seen it, but if it is the one I'm thinking of, as a French animated film, it was
Yes.
terrific.
Sarah Lena Rodriguez asks, I was wondering, could you possibly give advice to an aspiring children's book illustrator and author on how to go about getting a book published?
These are tough questions. I'm not going to lie. These are like, what is art? It's a very multiple step process. There's no one quick, short answer I can give. And on top of it, everybody's journey is different. Everyone's journey to getting published. I would say what we said earlier. I would seriously look into the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, SCBWI.org, which the late Tomie dePaola was very active in, who we are honoring today with this drawing of Stregonona. I would start there. I do have some stuff on my website. If you go to DiTerlizzi.com, under the About section, you'll see FAQs about children's publishing. Maybe you might find something there that'll also help you out. Bear in mind, when I broke into children's publishing, it was over 20 years ago. The internet was nowhere near what it's like now. There certainly were not Instagram pages or Facebook pages. And I was dropping off my portfolio on a Thursday to pick up on a Monday to see if the art director liked me or not. So it's a very different time.
I know there are published children's book authors and illustrators watching. If you guys have a tidbit of advice, feel free to leave it in the comments. And that way, you guys can maybe share a bit of your thoughts as well. I do know that social media is great, especially if you're an illustrator, because you're able to just show single images, online portfolios. A lot of art directors and myself as an author utilize Instagram to look for illustrators.
Sure.
So use hashtags. Right now I have a bird book that I'm working on, and I will look up #bird illustration. So I can see just what comes up.
Yeah, I think everybody has a different, because it could have, I think 3 or 4 years ago, it'd be like, use Tumblr. And a few years before that, use your blog, have a good website. Like it's constantly evolving. You're going to have to keep up with it. And I am not the best I try to keep up with all those things, but even I have trouble doing that. I would also say that there are a few things, now that I think about it, that are important, because I do follow young aspiring illustrators that have incredible talent on various social media. Here's what I see. Actually, I see a lot of what I'm drawing right now, a single figure doing in a pose, but then illustration is not about that. Illustration is about carrying the story, showing the emotion.
Design.
This is just a character design. This is a sketch. This isn't an illustration necessarily. It can be a spot or a little vignette, but it's not going to carry the story. It's not going to take the story to the next level. It's not, you have to think of the words as lyrics, and you are the guitar player or the piano player who's going to write the amazing riff to go with those lyrics. So think of your favorite song. Think of the Rolling Stones Angie, or you know what I mean? Like it's not just the words, it's the melody and everything else that goes with it.
Well, I think, if you were drawing right now and this was a wild thing, you would be like, wow. Or even Stregonona, like, yes, she's a really cool character, but what does the scene look like? She's not acting.
Is it time for our daily spam call?
It is. Yes, it is. It's the
same time. There it is. There's our robocall. Now, if we were a TV show, Ange, we'd be able to answer that call and do something fun. We could put it on speakerphone. That's what we'll do next time. We'll put it on speakerphone.
Yeah, but there's no one there.
It's just a recording. Hello. I need your social security number.
So I guess the first challenge, where if you were looking to show that you could illustrate a 32-page picture book, which is the standard length for a picture book, you would not only want to have this design of, a very lovely, inviting witch, but maybe you would want to show some of the actual story in the illustration.
Book dummy, yeah.
and
Yeah.
not just the character. Like, what
Yeah.
are they doing? What are their surroundings? What are their actions? Who are they interacting with? And all those little tidbits of story.
And emotion and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So hopefully that helps.
What are you going to do with this sketch? Joan Kindig asked.
Oh, what indeed, Joan Kindig. What indeed? I don't know. What should I do with this sketch?
I think you should send it to Joan Kindig.
You think I should send it to Joan? I'll send it to Joan Kindig. I think this is a Joan Kindig special. Now, if you guys...
Joan Kindig is amazing.
Yes, if you guys don't know, Joan has taught how many librarians probably across this country for so many years. And
she's a huge
advocate for children's literacy.
Children's
yes.
literacy, children's literature, for authors and illustrators. So many of us for so long have been supported by Joan, and just her vocalness for work that she loves.
Yes, enthusiasm is... I put high praise in it, Joan. So, Joan, it's coming to you. It's yours. I'll scan it in, though, so we can use it as part of my giveaways for our daily recycle.
Absolutely. It'll be coming to you. There's something to brighten your day right now.
Especially through these strange times we all find ourselves in. I wanted to give her like a big hoop earring, but it feels out of place. Instead, I've just got the hair pulled back. She seems pretty cool as a cupcake too, Ange. I got her my Strega. So here is, if you're just tuning in, Tomie dePaola, the legendary picture book artist, passed away. This is our copy of Strega Nona is down in Florida, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd be showing you a real book. And as we had been drawing a wicked witch over the last 2 days, we thought we would draw a good witch. And Strega Nona is about as good as it gets.
Absolutely.
We love Strega. I love, in particular, even though Tomie executes in a different style than I do, he simplifies and very clean, crisp lines, and I scribble all over everything. The shapes here are just phenomenal, and I love Big Anthony, how you get that sense of how tall he is. I actually don't know how big Big Anthony is, because look at the size of that rabbit. I mean, I guess you could say Strega Nona was, the size of a goat, because there's goats sitting down. Anyway, here he is. You can see there's Strega, and here you can see I'm doing my little rendition of Strega as well. I'm going to put a little bit of background in it, Ange, just to give it a little bit of place in her, which is her kitchen. I can't imagine her anywhere but her kitchen.
Let's see. Okay, so I know somebody had asked about pieces of advice. Scott Brown, sounds like you are either an author and illustrator or an illustrator. Said, I finally signed with an agency a couple years ago after 15 years of rejection.
There you go. That's a story.
I got blubbery when I first saw a book I've illustrated on a barn shelf this past summer. All I can say is keep swimming and don't give up.
Boy, you really said it. It is a long, and here's the other thing too. I would add to that. For me,
hanging garlic, very good.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yes. Yeah, that's good. We moved to New York City, and I made the rounds, and it took a while making rounds and making contacts for me to try to get in, and even then, it was just a crazy thing, a bunch of events, and that's a story for another time. We'll save it, but. The point I was going to drive at was, even then, it took quite a few years for me to get any kind of real recognition for my books. I mean, and I really was lucky. I was very fortunate that Spider and the Fly hit early on, because I had done Jimmy Zangwill in 2000. In 2001, I had done Ted. Those sold okay, modestly, fine. They were great.
And by the way, you have zero perspective. Your first book comes out and you think, this is going to be awesome. Everyone's just waiting
for my book
to come out.
My book's the book.
I remember when Ted came out, it was the same time that Olivia came out.
Literally the same. It's on the same list as Olivia the Pig, which everyone knows Olivia.
And I remember being in a taxi cab, driving by FAO Schwartz, and they had a giant banner of Olivia, and thinking, why isn't that Ted?
Oh my God, you and me both. I mean, I just didn't understand. I thought, why not both? Why can't it be both? Why can't Olivia be a thing and Ted? But no, it's just not the way the world works. The world doesn't work that way. So, but then fast forward a year later, and then it's The Spider and the Fly, and The Spider and the Fly wins its own Caldecott Award and becomes a New York Times bestseller. And then a year later, Spiderwick hits. And so I guess my point is, you don't just keep swimming after you get published, or to get published. You keep swimming after you get published to hope that you can find success enough that you can pay the bills making books, creating books.
Yes.
Because those early advances are tough to live off of. It's not a whole lot of money. I started this fireplace and now I regret it because I feel like it's a much more involved thing than I think it's going to muck the sketch up. So I'm just going to do a little bit of an indication of our house. I was going to do this mantle right here. That's kind of like ours. I feel like without reference, I'm just completely feeling my way. I'll fake it. This would be brick. I think my perspective's off.
Did you know you can adopt a grandparent in Italy who's lonely at this time?
Oh!
That's so sad.
Then here's the top of the mantle, which is where probably the candles and the garlic and the thingamajigs are.
Eric's like, I don't know why, but I could see her having a pet hedgehog. Probably because she's shaped like a hedgehog.
She really is. Anyway, here's her fireplace. It's not the best. And then this, yeah, you get the idea. It's like a large, I don't even know yeah, she has tons of garlic and things hanging up.
It's bothering me with that line now that's going right.
This one? That's
yes.
It's not good. It's not good. I'm gonna take it away, Ange.
Take it away, T.
I'm gonna take it away. It's not doing it. Sorry, Joan, I ruined your drawing. You were excited. Now you're like, you can keep it.
You're like, can you redo it now?
Can you
without that, please?
Can you do it without all the things? I'm just gonna blot it out here real quick.
All right.
I wanted to give it a little more.
There's a little house behind her.
I could have her outside. Just make it like here in the door. The door would be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe this is.
Yeah.
Again, I would Google like old Italian
that
villa.
Fireplace was too big. She'd have that little stove with the little fireplace where you have the hook.
Her fireplace is huge.
It is.
She could fit in it. So I was on the right.
You were.
I was on the right track. It just it was more than I bargained for.
Joe, no, you haven't.
Okay, good. Thanks, John. I'm glad you still like it. Still yours. I'm gonna have her out.
She is a bit like Mrs. Tiggy Winkle.
She is Tiggy Winkle-ish. I think she's waiting to be paid. She's either waiting to be paid or for someone to give her 5. Like, hey, give me 5. Down low, too slow. There it is. I think this is it, Ange. I don't know. I think anything beyond this, I'm just gonna mess it up. Just overwork it. But in
a
honor,
little rabbit at her feet. Someone suggested. I think Phoenix said that. I think that's pretty cool.
a rabbit.
Yeah, she's got her bunny right here.
Okay, yes. On the cover of the book, she does have a rabbit. I'll see what I can do here with a rabbit. Let me bring it up. Zoom in so you can see if I can pull this off. This will be like pulling a rabbit out of my pencil. You see that? Dad joke. The rabbit's big, also large. So
What's in this illustration? Yeah.
he's in that one too. All right, I'm gonna try.
You can do this.
I'm gonna try.
I believe in you.
Do you? Oh, I believe I can fly.
I believe.
Just trying to find this. Just trying to figure out what the rabbit's. Is it here? Is it? I can see that. I can see it like almost like a large. Like here's the paws. Here's kind of the chest, and then the head. I feel like the ears would almost be back.
Feel free to share that you're watching this stream with us, hanging out with us. And you can tag Tony and I. If you are feeling inspired yourself at home and you're doing some drawing.
Of Strega or whatever.
Whatever you're drawing, please tag us on Instagram. Tony has been sharing those drawings. You're just DiTerlizzi on Instagram, right?
Just DiTerlizzi.
DiTerlizzi. And I'm Angela DiTerlizzi. And you can tag
And we're the
DiTerlizzi.
DiTerlizzis. I don't know how well this...
Dane Nielsen did.
Nice. I'm trying to make this an interesting rabbit, not just a...
Always do.
Ooh, I kind of like that.
Lop-eared.
Yeah, with the big...
Yep.
Yeah, that. I'm trying to find how I want to do the...
You're not looking at bunny reference.
I'm looking at no reference, by the
No.
way. I'm literally just drawing this out of my head. And this is a different rabbit than, say...
What kind of rabbit would you...
Well, then, like Kenny, Kenny Rabbit is definitely... I don't know if this rabbit talks, or if it does talk... Well, that really just reminds me how off I am. I think like this.
Or this. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very hair-like.
Which one do you want? Do you want that?
No, it's okay. I feel like I've seen the thing where the rabbits kind of sit almost like a cat, and they have this kind of roll. I could be completely wrong. I could be making this up. I don't know. I want them two things. I want them smiling.
Oh.
Oh, that thing looks crazy. She's showing me crazy rabbit
That's
reference.
A crazy rabbit.
I want them smiling.
This is some kind of screaming rabbit.
Well, they do that when they're angry, like everybody else. And I want to get the eye right. I don't think that's right. I'm going to work on this darn rabbit. And it's going to be I'm going to wear a hole through the page.
What's the angle you're doing it? Okay, so you just got him kind of in profile. Whoa, that's a big rabbit.
But it's big in the
Not your rabbit.
just in general.
Yeah,
So you found one that's...
I looked at
That's a big one. Oh, the music is very...
Dun, 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 dun.
It's very...
No, I mean, come on.
How does she not... I don't mean to be like...
Wait,
wouldn't she cook...
Just show them that.
Wouldn't she cook them?
Look at the size of that
Ange has
rabbit.
found Stregonona, and she's there holding her pet rabbit. I'm going to say that is pretty close to scale. Yeah, that's about right. By the way, I'm going to be about the size of that rabbit after this virus is over, because I have been eating all my anxiety. Okay.
Cadbury bunny.
Yeah, it's very... Oh, yeah, Easter's coming. All right, it's rabbitish. It doesn't look like it wants to eat her. It looks like it definitely looks domesticated-ish, but also...
Ooh, a Flemish giant. Those are those really big ones.
Is that what that's... Wow, I just want to draw a Flemish giant. If you just told me draw a Flemish giant, it would not be... A rabbit is not what would come to mind. It would be a very large being with probably a club. Joan, I hope I also have now not further ruined your sketch.
Katie Spencer, I'm with you. I've gotten 2 snacks during this live stream. What are you snacking on?
I'm going through snack withdrawals during this live stream, although I do have my coffee cup.
I made my granola, which I'm pretending to be healthy, but we know once I add the chocolate chips and craisins and other stuff.
Once I sprinkle it over ice cream, the health goes away. Trying to drown out the health. Here's my cup today. Someone got us these Little People cups, and that's a Little People by David Bowie, which is just, come on.
String cheese and cookies.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. That's.
You came back with 3 pints of Ben and Jerry's the other night.
One for each of us to last the week, by the way, which of course none of those things happened.
No.
But that was my thinking. Also, I'm like, if I'm going to venture out into the wild, and let's, it's not quite Mad Max out there, but, if I'm going to go I'm not going to get 1 pint of ice. I'm not going to do all that for 1 pint.
No, it's true.
Like,
it's just there, and it just wants
and it calls to me from the freezer. I hear it. Tony, there's more Cherry Garcia.
That's the correct amount.
There's Chubby Humpy, Hubby Chumpy,
Chubby Hubby.
Chubby Monkey.
I can hear you.
I can
but I
hear.
won't.
Yeah, that's it. I hear it in the freezer, just calling my name. Chubby Bubble or whatever that. All right, Strega and her ridiculously large rabbit, which just adds to the awesomeness. of Strega. I'm thinking
I like
also
that bunny.
she's probably got like a little, outside her house, it's probably like a little flagstone path with little, like grass growing in between the flagstones. Little mossy. Like that's what you'd want, right? You'd want that. It's probably herbs. She'd have like thyme or something growing in between the...
Kaylee and Lewis, my mom brought home ingredients to make homemade ice cream.
See, that would be it.
Oh man, maybe I need an ice cream maker.
Yeah, maybe you don't. Wait, don't you have a thing that does make ice cream?
No, I have a yogurt maker.
Oh, that's healthy.
I know.
Oh gosh, I'm probably off page here. I'm like drawing way off. I'm just drawing between the flagstones. How are we doing on time? What are we up to, Ange?
Oh,
Do
yeah,
we know?
what time is it, folks?
I'm just drawing away.
3:56. It's like
We're getting close. Ange, anything else before we call it a day? We've done our tribute to the late, great, unbelievably legendary Tomie dePaola, who we will all miss. And I will miss his daily update, his little daily drawings on Facebook. He was doing that pretty regularly. But Strega Nona is a terrific book. It is a DiTerlizzi house staple. It's just not at our house right now. So I feel
because it
Soph
was
loved
such
it.
a favorite that
Soph
when we
took
went
it
down
on-
to Florida,
yeah,
we brought it to Florida
took
with
it to
us,
Florida.
and there it stayed.
There it stayed. So here she is.
Joelle, I don't know. Your husband said no to an ice cream maker on your wedding registry? How could he?
Wow. I would
And
say
you
that's an
didn't
annulment.
what?
Isn't that? That's it. That's annulment time. That's These are trees. I don't know if you can tell. Those are trees or herbs. No, it's herbs. Knowing her, it'd be this is probably rosemary.
Hi, Chris Robertson.
Hey, Chris Robertson.
Robertson.
I said
I
that.
met him in Cali
Did you?
when I was on tour last year.
This is rosemary, in case anyone's wondering. It's going to taste delicious when she roasts the rabbit.
Someone said, Phoenix said, would you consider adding watercolor to this?
Would I consider it? Onto this sketch? No, because it's just paper. It'll buckle and look terrible. We're definitely talking about doing a painting, and I would love to do a painting demo for you guys. I will say probably for the rest of the next couple of days, we're going to go back to drawing some really straight up Dungeons and Dragons-y type fantasy because, Ange, I have to finish up some sketches for Dark Sword Miniatures. They're working on a new wave of Tony DiTerlizzi masterwork miniatures. It seems like a lot of people are painting miniatures while they're home, doing some of their hobbies. So we had been working on this for a while. So I want to get those done. So you guys will get to watch me design miniatures real time for hobbyists and gamers. So we'll get those, and then by Friday,
Maybe we could take this time to do Drawn Fantasy. We could do some, you could do like an annotated reading of one of your books. Like you could read like Spider and the Fly, and then people could ask questions about it, and you could show some of the art from it.
I'd be happy to do that. We could do a
Would
deep.
that be cool?
Let's
guys?
do a deep dive. We can do a deep dive on one of the things. I like that. I think that would be really, really cool. And then Friday we will definitely do draw live by request. We'll
Yes.
keep that going because Ange and I had such a terrific time. I want to say thank you for all the amazing books, Tomie dePaola. We will miss you, but your literature and your stories will live on. And so will Strega Nona. We did a wicked witch. Now we've done a good witch. Here are some of the inspirations. This is what happens when you Google old Italian women. That's what you get. You also, why are they so, like, what? That's just, she's sad. She's so sad. Well, she's quarantined. That's probably why.
Oh.
And here's our happy, uplifting Strega Nona. And someone's going to get all this fun stuff. Who's it going to be today?
Oh my goodness. That's right, I didn't pick anybody yet.
Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun.
Get ready. We're going to add it to the list of winners.
All
Who's it
right.
going to be?
All right.
Yesterday's winner was June Gallagher. And now...
The winner is Jen Junkie.
Jen Jen Jonke from Jonke, Minnesota. I don't know where Jen is, but I'm going to write it down. Can you spell that for me, Ange?
Jen.
Jen.
Jahn.
Jahn. Ke. Jen Jonke, you are the winner of my garbage. That's right. You're going to get all the things that I shared and showed, plus a few signed prints and some stickers and goodies.
Joan Kindig's getting an original drawing.
Joan Kindig's going to get a sketch. Jen, I will make sure you get a nice printout of the sketch for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, we have a terrific time. You all uplift us.
Oh, hold on. Keep chatting. I've got
I want everyone to stay safe, stay healthy, and wait, Joan's telling me not to mail it yet. Oh, God. Now she wants the print for free and has demands. Wait till COVID-19 is over.
Oh, okay. I can respect that. That's all right. We can put it aside with your name on it.
We'll put it aside with your name on it, and in 2021, you will get it. Until then...
That's all right. I had to get the theme on.
You had to get the theme. You got the theme going. Crank it up, Ange. Thank you guys for tuning in. Read a Tomie dePaola book. Post a favorite. We have favorites. Be good. Stay safe and healthy. We miss you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
On
Drawn to Fantasy.
Thank you guys. Enjoy the tunes. I like how you guys congratulate the winner. That's really nice.
They're congratulating the winner.
Yeah, congrats, Jen.
Notice it's only the winners who are congratulating the winners. No one else is. But they're good sports.
There's always tomorrow.
There's always tomorrow and the next day. And the next day. And the next day. And the next day. And the next day.